Good afternoon, racing fans. Welcome to another day of racing. The first race, please note the time, it's 12:15 p.m. It's 5 wheels and up, optional claiming, 5 furlong round, a field of 10. I'm going to go with 5 of them. There are a lot of suspects here, so I'm going to go with 5 of them. 3, He's a Lion. 4, Will the Conqueror. 6, Pharaoh It Is. 7, Mr. Linders. 8, Last Hooray. He's a Lion. 1 and last, beating basically the same set of horses. The Cardenas on board on that day. Picked up some weight, up now to 57 kilos. Has a nice little work on the 31st of the 5th, 3:39.1. So you know that He's a Lion is sound and is coming to run. 4, Will the Conqueror continues to disappoint. This horse have a lot of back class. However, deemed lame on last, although finished third by 9 1/4 length. O'Neill Mullins replaces Ryan Lewis. Edward Stanberry is now the conditioner. Will the Conqueror should run well once again. Pharaoh It Is, all the rage and last. Finish lame. This horse has some back class also. However, once reported fit and sound, Pharaoh It Is should have a fighting chance. 7, Mr. Linders. This is another horse that has some amount of back class. Continues to run well, but just not getting his head in front. Has changed stable. Lawrence Fremantle now condition this one. They are called for Ricardo Carr, 51 kilo. He replaces Radish Roman, who rode this horse on the last 2 occasions. You can see Mr. Linders is cantering, which suggests that he's fit. Once his legs hold out, Mr. Linders will fight out the finish. And on the outside, horse number 8, Last Hooray. Didn't beat much on last, but I'm pretty sure this horse is very sound. You can see this horse is cantering. Clunis remains the rider. Has a good late turn of foot. Last Hooray will be coming home in deep stretch. However, I'm going to stick with horse number 3. Fit looking He's a Lion to get the better of Last Hooray, another fit looking horse. Then for third, Will the Conqueror, Pharaoh It Is, and Mr. Linders to fight out the other exotic spots. Moving on to race 2. It's a maiden special weight, 5 furlong round, field of 7. I'm gonna go with 2 horse in this race. 2, Sophia Says So, and number 6, Sashit. Sophia Says So. This horse is working very well at exercise. On the 12th of the 5th, he has a 3 furlong spin. That's 34.4. Very good for a 3-year-old first timer. On the 6th of the 6th, 4 furlong in 47.4 by a minute 2. And on the 9th of the 6th, 4 furlong in 46.3 by a minute 2. So, if you say so, very talented, and I expect this horse to run a very brave race. Horse number 5, Sashit. This horse is running for the 5th time now. Has some issues though. Broke slow, took no part, slow at the box. If this horse can overcome those issues, I expect Sachet to give horse number 2 something to think about. Has been working very well also on the 31st of the 5th, 4 and 46-2 by a minute 3. Sachet will be right there. However, I have to go with horse number 2. Sophia says so to get the better of horse number 6. Sachet. For your trifectas, exactas, 1000 treasures, or Ralph Treasures with Shane Ellis. Moving on to race number 3. 3-year-old maiden, 6 furlong, a field of 8. I'm going to boil it down to 3 of them. 2, Good Conscience. 3, Alive. 6, Midnight Warrior. Good Conscience, horse number 2. This horse didn't do bad on last. Third by 9 1/4 length when beaten by Margarita and Loreda. Blinkers off, visor on. Richie Shakes replaces Richard Henry. Good Conscience should run another race with more improvement. Horse number 3, Alive. This horse been running very well in his last 3 races, beaten by some useful horses. Second by a length and a quarter on last and beat by Nuclear Jet. Prior to that, walked out of the box and finished second by a length, beaten by Bangarang. Ryan Lewis maintains the ride, and this is the horse they will all have to beat. Horse number 6, Midnight Warrior. This horse ran 6 by 9 1/4 length on his debut when beaten by Global Pursuit and Bubbling Warrior. And you see Bubbling Warrior came back, ran a very good race. With continued improvement, I expect Midnight Warrior to run another decent race. However, I have to go with horse number 3, Alive. Alive to get the better of horse number 2, Good Conscience. For 3rd, Midnight Warrior. And for 4th, Miss Brayton. Moving on to race 4. 5 years and up, maiden, 6 furlong, a field of 7. Very poor race. I'm going to go with 4 of them. 1, She Who Has No Name. 3, Blinding Light. 4, Shine For Me. 6, Body Move. She Who Has No Name continues to run fairly races. The fact that this race is so poor, I'll have to give She Who Has No Name a look in. The last time out, 4th by 8.5 lengths when beaten by Last Array and Body Move. She Who Has No Name will run another decent race once again. 3, Blinding Light continues to run well also. Should have won long ago, however, I think Blinding Light, amongst these, I expect this horse to run another capital effort. 4, Shine For Me. On his debut, finished by 10 length, walked out and was lame on that day. Came back, second by 11 length when beaten by Real Identity. Everton Stone rode this horse on both occasions. They have no call for Joy Haynes. Takes the weight down from 57 kilo to 53 kilo. Joy Haynes looking for her second win, and I expect her to get into the winner's enclosures for the second time around. Horse number 6, Body Move, ran a very good race on last, second by 3 lengths when beaten by Last Hooray. Demar Williams now replaces A. Fraser. Body Move will be right there at the business end. However, I'm going to go with horse number 4, Shine For Me, to get Joy Haynes her second winning ride, to get the better of horse number 6, Body Move. Then for 3rd, Blinding Light, She Who Has No Name. Moving on to race number 5. 4 years on up, 3 numbers of 3 imported, 4 years on up, numbers of 2, 5 furlong round, a field of 13. A bit competitive, however, I'm gonna go with 4 of them. 2, first offense, 6, firecracker, 7, she's Dallas love, 11, galloping develops. First offense, 7 by 8 lengths on last when beaten by Midnight Galaxy and Provident. Before that, third by 2 lengths after walking out the box when beaten by Queen of Souls and J Speed. First offense will be coming at them, will sit just off the pace, and I expect first offense to be right there at the business end. 6, firecracker. This horse, we could say, down in class a bit. 8 by 5 length on last when beaten by the same Queen of Souls and J Speed. Was right up into the pace. Bihari rode this horse on the last 3 occasions. They have replaced Bihari with Tyrese Anderson. Firecracker will be on the headline, and I expect Firecracker to fight all the way to the end. She's Dallas Love, number 7, very speedy horse. This horse was in that same race when won by Queen of Souls. The figure 8 is now on, and I expect She's Dallas Love to hook up on the lead alongside Firecracker. 11, Galloping Develops. Another horse with a lot of speed. The visor on. They are called for Shane Ellis. This horse will be on the headline also. It's gonna be a very hot pace. A lot of speed is in this race. I expect the speed to come back, but I'm gonna stick with horse number 6, Firecracker, who I think have more speed and more pace than these. Firecracker to get the better of first offense will be flying at them in deep stretch. She's Dallas Love to hang on alongside Galloping Develops. And for persons who likes Superfecta High Five, you could put Blood Moon and Bold Move to fill those exotic spots. Moving on to race number 6. It's optional claiming, 350 down to 250, 4 furlong straight. This is another race that a lot of suspect is in this race, so you have to go with multiple choices. I'm going to go with 6 of them. 2, JJ the Striker. 4, Phenometer. 6, Minnie the Wack. 8, Queen Zan. 10, Mr. Mandate. And on the wide outside, horse number 13, Phenomenal 1. 2, JJ the Striker. This horse is very fit as hands can be. This horse is in the money on almost most of the occasions. This horse continues to earn. Drawn post position 2 on the inside, which I don't really like. Horse coming from post position 1 or 2, going down the 5 straight, but has some amount of speed, is very sound, and I expect JJ Striker to run a very good race, which could land her in the winner's enclosure. Horse number 4, Phenometer, the horse I think they'll all have to beat. This horse is very fit, very sound, although picked up some weight, now up to 57 kilo. Phenometer has enough speed and pace. Was beaten by Magical Mood on last. I think Phenometer is the horse to beat in this race. 6, Minnie the Wack. Hasn't raced since 15th of September 2024. However, Minnie the Wack is a horse with good amount of ability. Was beaten by Phenometer and Demi Life. The rider doesn't inspire confidence. Devonay Thomas, but this jockey can ride on his best day, you know. So I'm gonna give Mini the Wack a look in. Although might need a run, but this horse have some amount of ability and can upset this race with Devon A. Thomas. 8, Queensland has been knocking at the door. I continue to tip this horse, just not getting her head in front. Getting fitter and fitter. They have no call for Raman up here. It's a very light rider, 50 kilo. And I expect Queensland to be right there at the business end. Horse number 10, Mr. Mandate. This is the class horse in the race. However, has not shown the type of Mr. Mandate that we know over his last race or so. However, I've not seen any exercise work, so I'm assuming that this horse is swimming. But once Mr. Mandate turn up in any form, let's say 70%, Mr. Mandate can beat these, although up in the weight with 57 kilo. But Ryan Lewis is a very good rider, and I'm not going to leave Mr. Mandate out of my permutation. And on the wide outside, horse number 13, phenomenal one. This horse is very speedy also, not showing anything in his last 4 races or so. However, with back class, I know phenomenal one can win this race. On the 11th of the 6th, showed 3 furlong in 40, which suggests some amount of soundness. So I'm not going to leave phenomenal one. But I'm going to stick with horse number 4, Phenometer, to get the better of Queensland. If there should be an upsetter, Midi the Wack, JJ the Striker, Mr. Mandate, and on the outside, phenomenal one. Moving on to race number 7. 3 overs and up, numbers of 2, 6 furlong, 6 of them. I'm gonna go with 3 of them. 1, Margarita. 4, Danka. 6, Kimuchi. Margarita finally won on last when beating the likes of Laredo and Good Conscience. One easy, one by all of 6 lengths. Is improving. The Cardenas replaces Dane Dawkins, and I expect Margarita to run another good race. 4, Danka. This is the horse they all have to beat. Ran well in the Guineas and last, 7 by 16 length. Wesley Henry maintains the ride. As I indicated in the Guineas that I don't like to see Wesley ride at 57 kilo. He's now riding at 53, and I expect Danka return to winning ways. And on the outside, horse number 6, Kimuchi, 1 by 6 lengths on last. That was on November 23rd, 2024. Might need a run or so to straighten him out. Straighten her out. However, as I look in, so I'm gonna go with horse number 4, Danka, to beat Margarita, and for 3rd, Kimuchi. Moving on to race 8, it's the Valbert Marlow Memorial Cup, 9 furlong, a field of 7, boils it down to 3, 2, Midnight Galaxy, 5, Brenda Boy, 7, Captain Sparrow. Midnight Galaxy, this horse continues to improve with each run. On the last occasion, this horse won by 2 lengths, beat the likes of Provident and Train of Thoughts. Although step up in class now, Emilio McLean is now called on to do duties, replaces Radish Roman. This is the handicap horse in the race, and I expect Midnight Galaxy to get to that lead and should hold off the challenges of the late runners. 5, Brenda Boy. There's no chain stable. Jason DaCosta is now the trainer, pleased to note. Second by head on last when beaten by Immeasurable Joy. He's working quite decent. 5.5 in 110 on the 31st of the 5th. And on the 8th of the 6th, 6 for 117.4. Albert Halladine, the busted rider, is on board. Brenda Boy will be coming at them in deep stretch, and it's good enough to catch the front runners. Number 7, Captain Sparrow. This is the class horse. Slow into stride on last. Seen making mild progress. 6/8 length when beaten by Divine Force, and Gervano is working quite decent. On the 2nd of the 6th, 5 in 101. And on the 8th of the 6th, 6 furlong in 116.1. Doesn't have much early speed, just like Brenda Boy. However, Captain Sparrow with Shane Ellis will be coming at them. I'm going to stick with the speed horse here and the handicap horse. Midnight Galaxy. Although up in class, I'm going to stick with Midnight Galaxy to get the better of Brenda Boy and Captain Sparrow. There's a horse by the name of Pineapple. Has some amount of speed. Can spoil the exotics. But my firm choice is horse number 2, Midnight Galaxy. And that's a little outer for you folks. 9th and final is the Luchipu Trophy. It's overnight allowance, 8 furlong, a field of 10. I'm going to go with 4 of them. 2, Blue Vinyl. 3, Fearless Force. 5, Rhythm Buzz. 7, Sistine Treasure. Blue Vinyl. Second by a neck when beaten by Interested Times ahead on last. That was 7 furlong, 57 kilo on that day, Dane Dawkins. Demar Williams now calls on to do duties, 54 kilo. Blue Vinyl has a lot of class. In fact, this horse is down in class, and I expect Blue Vinyl, although getting on in age, to hold off the challenges of the others. 3, Fearless Force. This is a very fit, consistent horse. This horse was 5th by a length when beaten by Interested Times ahead, although slow to stride on that day. Delroy Bihari now calls on by trainer Philip Fiani. If you look at the work, on the 10th of the 6th, this horse galloped 3 furlong in 35.2. So Fearless Force is very fit and should be coming at them in deep stretch. Rhythm Buzz, 4th by 4.5 when beat by Divine Force and Gervano. He's back now with Philip Parchment. He's a very strong rider. Rhythm Buzz has class, has pace, has speed. Rhythm Buzz will be right there. And on the outside, horse number 7, Sistine Treasure. This horse is getting fitter and fitter with each run. I expect a win from Sistine Treasure sooner or later. And I won't be surprised if Sistine Treasure upset this race. Was in that same race with Interesting Times ahead and ended up 4th by ahead after walking out the box. Figure 8 now on. Paul Francis maintains the ride. Sistine Treasure is a very dangerous horse. However, I'm going to go with horse number 2, Blue Vinyl, to hold off Rhythm Buzz, Fearless Force, Sistine Treasure. Like I said, if there should be an upset, no further than Sistine Treasure. That's it for me, racing fans. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Best of luck. Happy hunting.